Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Christodon1, and I am back with another video. Just got word. Breaking news. This fell down. This transpired last night. I'm apologize in advance about the sunlight, but it is what it is. We're gonna still make do with what we can do with. But this has just been confirmed. The Oklahoma City Thunder have Paul George, and the Indiana Pacers, they have Oladipo and another forward. I don't recall his name, but however, what does this mean for the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers? And we're also going to be talking about the recent news surrounding Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin signed a huge paycheck. I mean, a contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm about to say the Phoenix Suns. And I'm going to tell you what that means for the Clippers as well as other things that's going on today. But let's address the first topic at hand. Paul George going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. What does this mean for the Oklahoma City Thunder? They're a contender, but I still don't think what they have on the roster plus Paul George is going to contend with the Houston Rockets or the Golden State Warriors. Okay, at the end of the day, this trade really doesn't do anything on that aspect. Okay, I think it moves them up to the 4 to the 5 spot, and that's decent. Okay, clearly the Oklahoma City Thunder believe that they can sign Paul George to a longer extension, and clearly, like I reported to you guys a couple of days ago, when Westbrook got the MVP, the regular season's MVP, I stated to you guys that by that passionate speech, he's going to resign to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, when you look at the landscape next year, where else is he going to go to? You guys think he's going to go to the most closest place he may think about going to is the Los Angeles Lakers. And at that particular time, Chris Paul was a point guard for the Clippers. Maybe that might be an optional route for him. But if you look at reality, most likely Russell Westbrook is going to re-sign a $201 million extension to stay with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, now they believe, the Oklahoma City organization, they believe that they can sign Paul George to a huge contract extension. Okay, so they have the mindset in believing that they can re-sign him, and Paul George has really not indicated, even though he doesn't mind, he's going to the West. He always wanted to go to the West, but he probably going to see how this plays out with Oklahoma City Thunder. They may have a successful run and a successful campaign, and we're just going to he's just going to wait and see how that plays and develops with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when you talk about it from the standpoint of what does this mean for, let me move this right here. what this means for not only the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know why I did that. First of all, I tried to put my sun visor in front of there, and then it got in the way of the camera, so we'll just keep everything status quo. But what does this mean for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Like I said earlier, they may be the 4, the 5 spot. And as far as the Pacers go, clearly they're in rebuilding mode. So, you know, Oladipo is a decent player, and I'm pretty sure they're going to see how he works with the Pacers. And he's pretty much signed to like a 2 or 3 year deal. So they still have him on the books, but however, this is a feeler, this is a test out to see whether or not Oladipo is going to be a good serviceable player for the Pacers. And who knows, the Pacers may later on down the road, midway through the season, trade him to another destination. So you don't know, okay? Clearly, the Pacers are in rebuilding mode. They're not trying to contend for the title. They know when you're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're still a juggernaut on the East. And when you look at the Celtics, if they get Haywood, you don't know what type of roster they're going to have tomorrow. But you got the Cavaliers and the Celtics, and, you know, everybody else is just pretty much status quo in the East. And even if somehow, some way you get past those two juggernauts, you still have to face the Golden State Warriors, okay? So when you look at this trade, I think this is a trade that it's not a great trade, but I think this is a trade that, well, the two organizations knew at the end of the season they're not going to have these players next year. You know, Paul George is going to walk away. If he would have stayed with the Pacers, they would have gotten absolutely nothing for him. And when you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder side of things, they're looking at it from the standpoint of, well, you know, even though these players are decent, still we was thinking about trading these players anyway for either picks or another player. So they got a superstar. They got a 1-2 punch with Russell Westbrook and Paul George. And I think with their two styles, they can, you know, work along with one another. Paul George really don't demand the ball as much, even though I could consider him an ISO player. But he's one of those type of ISO players that will fit in a system, and he's not going to be ball dominant, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's a good move for, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder as well as the Indiana Pacers. Now, Blake Griffin signed a huge extension to stay with the Clippers. And what does this mean? It can go either way, okay? I remember I did a stream a couple of days ago telling you guys most likely the Clippers were going to re-sign Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, and with Jerry West there, they're going to have a defensive approach because they have two low post players. Okay, now Chris Paul has been traded to the Rockets, and I forgot the point guard from. Or I had his name in my mind, but I lost it because I'm looking at my video screen. Patrick Beverley. Now with Patrick Beverley, and then you still have the low post presence of Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, you still have that mentality of a defensive style team, okay? So they're not going to necessarily be an offensive lob city. They're not going to too much care about offense. They feel like the only way we can combat the Golden State Warriors is not to outscore them, but to stop them, make them work for their shots. And now we have two low post players. If they both stay healthy, they can dominate whatever power forward and center that the Golden State Warriors have, okay? Which is Kevin Durant and whoever they're going to have as center, okay? So that's an interesting spin of things of Jerry West. Jerry West's logic is, which was my logic, you know, the start of this season, last season, I felt like teams were trying to outscore the Golden State Warriors, and that's when you play into their strength. Now what the Clippers are doing, they're showing that they're going to have they're going to be stronger down low, and they got a guard as Patrick Beverley. He can be able to defend Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, you guys will have to figure out a way to stop those two guys, okay? Or get in front of those two guys, whatever, okay? Okay. Now, as far as the landscape of free agency, so Chris Paul is off the block. Paul George is off the block. What does this mean for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, now Stephen A. Smith and several other people are reporting and suggesting that, well, Carmelo Anthony can be released by the Knicks. Okay, and if the Knicks do that, then to me, they're going to do that after the summer, after the free agency period. Because even if they release him today, there's nobody big time superstar is willing to go to the New York Knicks just for them, and all they're waiting on is for Carmelo Anthony to be released. They got plenty of cap money, but the problem is the New York Knicks are not attractive to players, and the coach is somewhat decent, but he's not one of those type of coaches that's going to take you to the next stratosphere, to the next level. Okay, so clearly this is a rebuilding situation. Okay, and I stated to you guys what the New York Knicks should do. Okay, but breaking news, Paul George is now a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Indiana Pacers, they got some decent picks. They didn't get a draft pick. They got some decent players, okay, at the end of the day. And I feel like the Pacers are going to try these players out. But at the end of the day, I feel like one, if not both of these players are going to be traded midway through next season. Okay, so we're going to have to wait and see how that develops. Okay, but guys, tell me what you think out there. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please hit that notification tab, that notification bell, so it'll tell you when my next live stream or video goes down. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One. Sorry about the light, and I am out.